Welcome back to the channel. We are witnessing a cinematic, high-tension collision course today. A seismic shift in momentum just fractured Port Charles, leaving our favorites staring down impossible choices with no way out. The walls are closing in, the stakes have never been higher, and the fallout will be absolute. Let's dive right into the madness. I cannot believe Tracy just said that. I am literally sitting here vibrating with rage and shock because did Tracy Quartermain actually just look Brook Lynn in the eye and tell her to abandon baby Phoebe? With or without the baby, you need to get out of town. Are you kidding me right now? I'm sorry, but my jaw is still on the floor. I've been watching this show since 2015, and I know Tracy is ruthless. I know she plays the game harder than anyone else, but telling her granddaughter to just pack up and run, leaving her husband and the baby they literally just finalized the adoption for, that is cold. That is ice cold, even for Tracy. But let's be real, I am also kind of living for the drama, because the stakes are absolutely astronomical. Let me back up, because I am getting ahead of myself. My hands are shaking. So, we are in the Quartermain kitchen, right? And Tracy is acting less like a concerned grandmother, and more like a military drill sergeant barking orders at a terrified cadet. Brook Lynn looks like she's about to vomit, and honestly, she should. Because this all traces back to that horrific night on Route 91. Remember when Curtis and Jordan Ashford's car was run off the road? Yeah, the show has been dragging this out, and we all know Brook Lynn was the one who swerved and caused that accident. She panicked, she fled the scene, and she let Willow take the fall for it. And Tracy? Tracy covered it up like the mob boss she wishes she would. But here is why Tracy is hitting the panic button right now. Curtis's trial begins today. And I know what you're thinking. Curtis is on trial for assaulting Isaiah Gannon, not for the car wreck. Which is true. Curtis completely lost his mind and beat Isaiah to a pulp because he blames Isaiah for the crash. But Tracy is playing 4D chess here. She knows that once lawyers start asking questions, once the timeline of that night gets dragged into the courtroom spotlight, the truth about who was actually on Route 91 is going to come out. Tracy is terrified that Brook Lynn will get subpoenaed or called to the stand. If Brook Lynn is under oath, she's either going to commit perjury or confess to a hit and run. So Tracy's brilliant solution? Banishment. I mean, look at Brook Lynn's face in that scene. She's drowning in guilt. She knows she might have caused the wreck that nearly killed Jordan. And now she is fostering and adopting Phoebe with Chase, trying to build this perfect little family, and her grandmother is telling her to blow it all up and go on the run. Am I the only one who thinks Brook Lynn is going to crack? She cannot hold this secret forever. Chase is a cop. Well, a detective again, but still. He is going to figure it out, and when he does, their marriage is going to. I am dreading it, but I am also entirely here for the angst. Okay, wait, shifting gears, because I need to scream about Lucy Coe for a minute. We just hit the jackpot? That is what Lucy says to Serena Baldwin over at Bobby's, and I am laughing so hard I am crying. Lucy Coe is absolutely unhinged, and I love her for it. The deception corporate war has been dragging, and Maxie selling her shares to Michael Corinthos was a devastating blow. So what does Lucy do? Does she hire better lawyers? Does she negotiate a buyout? No. She tells Serena to put on her most seductive swimsuit and go play honeypot with Michael at the Metro Court pool. I'm sorry, but this is classic soap opera camp, and I am upset. Serena Baldwin is back in town, looking gorgeous, and Lucy is deploying her like a weapon of mass seduction. Go cozy up to him at the pool, she says. Like Michael Corinthos is just going to hand over millions of dollars in corporate shares because a pretty girl in a bikini smiled at him. But honestly, Michael's ego is so inflated right now, it just might work. He has been acting like this untouchable corporate raider ever since he got those shares. He thinks he holds all the cards. And speaking of Michael, let's talk about his current situation with Jacinda Bracken. Jacinda is sitting at the pool with him, and she is paranoid. She asks Michael point blank if he thinks WSB Chief Jack Brennan would help Willow by targeting him. And you know what? Jacinda is right to be terrified. Because Willow Kane is not the sweet, innocent school teacher she is. Willow is a congresswoman now, she is ruthless, and she is playing a massive game of chess with everyone's lives. Let's review the custody nightmare for a second. Willow and Michael are divorced. Willow is legally married to Drew Kane, who she literally kept paralyzed and locked in for months, but that's a whole other venting. Now Willow is divorcing Drew, and she wants 50/50 custody of Wiley and Amelia. Michael is flat out refusing because he wants sole custody and wants to push Willow out of the picture entirely. So Michael is sitting there at the pool, stressing about his family's future, and Jacinda is feeding his paranoia. And then they see it. Across the pool, in broad daylight, Congresswoman Willow Kane is having a hushed, intense conversation with WSB Chief Jack Brennan. I mean, could they be any more obvious? Jacinda and Michael are staring at them, and Jacinda's wheels are turning. It looks incredibly suspicious. Why is a high-ranking federal intelligence officer having a secret meeting with a local politician at a hotel pool? Michael's guard goes all the way up, and honestly, he should be sleeping with one eye open. Because over at that table, Brennan is looking at Willow and saying, I think it's time we take this to the next level. Chills. Literal chills. Brennan is so toxic and dangerous, and pairing him up with this dark, manipulative version of Willow is the best thing the writers have done all year. Willow had previously told Nina and Liesel that she wanted to reopen the PCPD investigation into Drew's shooting case. Brennan originally thought it was a bad idea, but now he is ready to escalate. What does taking it to the next level even mean for these? Are they going to frame Michael? Are they going to use WSB resources to destroy his life? I know Jacinda is plotting her own rogue scheme to set Willow up with pills, which is so incredibly stupid I can't even stand. Jacinda is completely out of her depth. She is playing checkers, while Willow and Brennan are playing 3D chess with laser beam. If Jacinda tries to frame a congresswoman who is allied with the head of the WSB, she is going to end up in a federal prison or at the bottom of the harbor. But wait, I haven't even gotten to the best part of the episode. The absolute climax. Ava Jerome storming into Sonny Corinthos' house like an avenging angel of fury. The blame for that lies directly on your shoulders, she screams at him. Give Maura West her Emmy right now. Ava is furious, she is terrified, and she is taking it all out on the Teflon Don himself. Let's break down why Ava is losing her mind. Ethan Lovett has completely vanished. He bolted from Port Charles because that creepy new businessman, Hudson, showed up. But before Ethan went totally off the grid, he called Ava. And Ava could tell immediately that he was in deep trouble. He was on the run, panicked, and desperate. Lulu was supposed to be the one to break the news to everyone that Ethan had to leave town unexpectedly, but communication in this town is a joke, so Ava was left in the dark until that terrifying phone call. And Ava actually cares. I know Ethan was running that whole scam with the fake DNA test about Phoebe, and Ava was blackmailing him, but there is genuine chemistry and care there. Ava does not want Ethan dead. And who does she blame for Ethan having to run for his life? Sonny Corinthos. Because everything in this town always comes back to Sonny and his mob board. Ethan warned Lulu that you don't just walk away from Sonny, and now Ethan is running from Hudson, who is probably tied to Sonny's enemies or some dark syndicate. Sonny is standing there, looking at Ava like she has 3 heads, but you can see the wheels turning in his brain too. Sonny obviously wants answers. He doesn't like loose ends, and Ethan disappearing is a massive loose end. Plus, Sonny and Ava have been at each other's throats for months, over custody, over mob territory, over everything. Having Ava burst into his living room and scream in his face is just adding fuel to a fire that is already burning out of control. I am so incredibly invested in this Ethan mystery. Where did he go? Who exactly is Hudson working for? Is he tied to Jen Sidwell? Is he tied to the WSB? Ava is not going to just let this go. She is going to dig, and when Ava Jerome starts digging, bodies usually end up surfacing. She already had that light bulb moment where she realized she needs a new ally against Sonny, and I am praying she teams up with Valentine. Can you imagine Ava and Valentine pooling their resources to take down? The sheer elegance and ruthlessness of that alliance would be television gold. Look, I know some people are complaining that the pacing is too fast right now, but personally, I am thriving. We have Tracy trying to force Brook Lynn into exile, Lucy running a honeypot scam with Serena, Michael and Jacinda spiraling into paranoia, Willow and Brennan plotting federal crimes by the pool, and Ava declaring war on Sonny over a missing Ethan Lovett. This is why we watch soaps. This is the high-stakes, emotionally devastating, morally bankrupt drama that I signed up for. I just need to know what Brook Lynn is going to do. Is she actually going to pack a bag and leave Chase? Leave the baby? Tracy is right about one thing. If Brook Lynn stays, she is going to get caught. Curtis is not going to go down for this assault without a fight. Martin Gray is going to tear that courtroom apart, and the truth about Route 91 is going to bleed out. Brook Lynn's guilt is already eating her alive. You can see it in every scene she shares with Chase. He is so pure and good and completely oblivious to the fact that his wife is a criminal who left two people to die on the side of the road. And what about Willow? She has become the ultimate villain, and she doesn't even realize it. She thinks she is the victim. She thinks she is justified in taking Michael down, in silencing Drew, and using Brennan. The evolution of Willow Kane from a weeping, helpless victim into this cold, calculating political mastermind is fascinating to watch. I hate her, but I can't look away. When Brennan said they need to take it to the next level, Willow didn't even flinch. She leaned in. She is ready for war. I am typing this at 2 a.m. because my brain will not shut off. The writers are weaving so many threads together right now. The Route 91 crash, the Deception corporate takeover, the WSB corruption, the mob wars, it is all colliding. Tomorrow's episode cannot come fast enough. I need to see Serena in that swimsuit. I need to see if Brook Lynn actually runs. I need to see Sonny's reaction to Ava's accusation. This show is firing on all cylinders, and I'm here for every single second. Will Brook Lynn actually abandon her family, or will the truth destroy them all anyway? Drop your wildest theories below and hit subscribe so we can ride this roller coaster together.